You are now tuned in to the Premier Hotspur TV. Sit back, get involved, comment away, because we are live.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Premier Hotspur TV. It's your man Simon, North of England's biggest Spurs fan. Yes guys, we are back with another Simon Match transfer roundup. I am joined by my co-host Matt. Matt, how's it going, pal?
Yeah, no, all good. Finally a day off this week, so it's been a busy week, but no, I'm looking forward to getting through the sort of transfer route, rumours, news about Spurs. It's been another, it seems more of a positive week. I think stuff's starting to get done, so I'm sure we'll get into it. I hope everyone's well, and thanks for tuning into the show.
So we have got some comments left in here before the show, guys. We have got Jake. Yes. Thanks, Jake. We've got facts and stats. All right, Simon, Matt. Hope you're both well. Tottenham are being busy at the moment with new signings coming in and the Deadwood leaving. I'm excited to see what's going to happen under Nuno. Coys, thanks for that, facts and stats. Bob Spur, well done to Bob Spur TV. He reached 1K last night. Absolutely deserves it. Right?
Yeah.
So absolutely, Bob's, well done, pal. Absolutely. And good luck going forward, pal. We've got Jake KANE to City for 160 million. Discuss. We will come back into that. We will have a thing, but we'll go back into this one, Matt. About this one here, he said about Paratici.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting rid of the Deadwoods. New signs coming in. What do you think of the effect what Paratici is doing and what Steve Hitchen hasn't over the last couple of years? Is it just he's better at his job? It looks like he never sleeps. This guy, I was reading an article on him. Fabrizio Romano was saying about this guy never sleeps. Throughout June all the way to September, this guy's up every single minute of the day, taking calls, doing businesses, doing deals. So it seems like he's a workhorse, and it seems like Hitchen is either wasn't doing his job properly or he wasn't getting backed properly by Daniel Levy. Matt, what do you think? What do you think of Paratici? Is it because it's his work? Is his work ethic? He's come in. He's realised that we have to get rid of Deadwoods, and we have to start bringing in quality signings and start moving this club forward again.
I think it is his sort of work ethic, but I just think he's more ruthless, and he probably knows more sort of people. He knows all the individual agents because he's been to Italian clubs. He's been he knows the Spanish clubs. He knows the German clubs. And we've heard of him before, but I've never really heard of Steve Hitchen even before he was at Spurs. So I think, it's a name. He'll know loads of different, links and sources. But I just think he's better. It sort of looks likely that we're going to get our main centre-back target, which is that Ramiro. And it's taken him, a day or two to get it over the line. Hitchen went out to Milan for 2 weeks to try and get Skriniar done. And he came back with peanuts, really, didn't he? He didn't come back with what we wanted. But hopefully, Hitchen can learn from someone like, Paratici. It sounds like they're all trying to work together, and Levy is pretty much taking a seat back and letting them get on with it. So, long may it continue, but we'll wait and see, like I say. But no, I think he's going to do a really good job, and I think he knows what players he wants to get rid of already, and I think Nuno's probably told him, already who he wants out and who he can rely on and who he can trust. So, I think it's going to be quite a good transfer window for Spurs, and I think we could surprise a few people this season. But I'm feeling pretty confident, to be honest.
Yeah, as I said, going back to the documentary when Hitchen said that comment about, he hates his time of the year and everything like that. That's your job at the end of the day. You get employed Tottenham scout players, go and do deals. You know what I mean, go sort it out. And his attitude just seems not right for the job he's undertaking. You know what I mean? It just seems like Paratici, he's got the right attitude. He's come in and he knows. I think he's more clued up as well. I think he's more screwed on. I think he knows his job much better than Steve Hitchen. And I think the good thing about it, Daniel Levy has been out the equation. Him and Nuno, maybe Steve Hitchen as well, have been talking about transfers and things like that. And I just like how he doesn't sit on one player, does he? Go all out attack. If he doesn't get them, or he's got their back. He looks like he goes for 5-6 players, and everyone think, oh, getting him, and he's working on someone else behind the scene, and I think that's what's so good about Paratici. I think that's what is so good as well. So never been a fan on Hitchin. I'm so glad that Paratici's in the house, and he's doing a great job, Matt. So far, he's doing a great job. I know he's only just bring one player in. Looks like this Romero, Cristiano Romero from Atalanta. Apparently, in the last couple of minutes on Twitter,
that deal was close, isn't it? Apparently it's nearly there. Yeah.
So maybe we'll hear something at the end of the day today, and we'll see if we can get that one over the line. Got some comments in here. Peter, hope we don't lose Kane. And Paul Reed says, yes, guys, yes. So everyone, thanks for tuning in so far, guys. If you haven't smashed the subscribe, guys, smash the subscribe, smash the like, guys, and keep bringing the comments in, guys. So Matt, so we'll go on to just some of these transfers, Matt, and we'll go on to the first one, and it's a player. It's Cristiano Romero from Atalanta. He's 23 years old, Matt. He's not the tallest of defenders. I think he's about 5'11", something like that. He's Argentinian. He won the Copa America with Argentina. So it seems like he's an old school defender, Matt. And no nonsense. He hits some hard where it is, and I just think he'll be a great addition to the team if Romero. But 50 million quid has been touting around for a guy that I don't know. I ain't seen much of, Matt. I have to admit, I ain't seen much of this guy. Is he worth 50 million quid?
Well, it's 50 million euros. That's probably about what 40 mil, probably, or 40-ish mil. But yeah, I think he is. I think his age, is there. He's 23. He could be especially with Alderweireld going. He could be our centre back for the next 4 or 5 years. Starting. He's quick. He normally plays in the middle of a back three. So he likes to press quite aggressively, and he sort of presses the opposition out. So he comes out of the back three, pushes forward, good on the ball, good in transition. But then also he can tuck in to, if people think like he'll press too much and he might get caught on the ball, what he'll do is he'll kind of press back into position or back to make it like a midfield 3 or even 4. So yeah, he does that really well. Actually, for his height, he won the most aerial duels in Serie A last season. I mean, not bad for someone who's 5'11", but yeah, he must have really good jumping, or So I think you've got to take that into consideration. But like you say, he's Argentinian. You have to say, transformed Atalanta's defence. They lost Fofana, obviously, to Leicester. He's come in. He slotted in nicely, and again, they've gone from a Europa League club to a Champions League club in the space of 2 or 3 seasons with him at the heart of defence. I think Nuno probably wants him. Paratici will obviously know of him. So I think, I'm quite excited for this signing, and hopefully they just get it done.
But, Matt, are you worried though? The inexperience of the Premier League if KANE comes in as well, and Tom Rasu as well, if they all three of them come in at the same time, it's going to take time to bed in, and this is the only thing what's worried me.
Yeah.
It needs to. I know it needs to happen. It needs to. We can't keep going on with what we got. I mean, and that's the thing. But the only worry I'll say is it's bringing them all in at the same time. I mean, and especially with Young as well, Matt. Me, I would have loved someone like a Cody coming in with a Romero. I mean, Cody's 28, he's experienced. He knows the Premier League. I mean,
Yep.
and I think he'll play well alongside Romero. But I just don't think Dan Levy sees it as a much of a selling clause, and this is how Dan Levy this is how he buys players, isn't it? He doesn't seem there's no selling clause with Cody, is it? After his contract's up, you know what I mean? Probably got what 5-10 million for him. And
Yeah, but
to me, Cody, I think. Go on, mate.
I mean, saying that, obviously, he didn't buy Joe Hart, but obviously that he had to pay up the wages for him. Højbjerg, you probably wouldn't have said. Maybe Levy. I don't think Levy ever predicted that he's going to turn into like 100 million sort of player. So I think we'll buy smart this season, but yeah, I don't know if I'd want Romero and KANE, like you sort of say. I wouldn't mind maybe, because I think they're quite similar, actually. I wouldn't mind maybe a Romero. I wouldn't mind maybe a Romero and possibly like a more demanding sort of centre-back, like quite a tall... I mean, you could play Joe Rodon, but then that is quite a young defence then.
Yeah.
But, he did play in the Premier League last season. But it would be interesting to see, because I can't see us selling all of Toby, Dyer and Sanchez. I think one of them will probably stay, maybe just for that experience and for sort of the cups and things like that. So that'll be quite interesting to sort of see. But, maybe someone like a Sanchez or a Dyer just need two other really good centre-backs alongside them and they can become good as well. I mean, you look at John Stones this season with, Manchester City. He had Ruben Diaz and he made him a much better centre-back. So, yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. But, yeah, I'm quietly quite happy with, Romero. I think it'll be a good signing.
Yeah, absolutely. Paul... How's it going, Paul? Afternoon, lads. It's time for this club to move forward in the transfer market, get rid of the deadwood and start bringing in quality players and build around the team we have. Yes, Paul. Thanks for coming in, pal. Bob says, does the fact we're all getting excited over one signing to goalkeeper on loan show what the fans' mindset is officially? He's only... Bob's... I did actually just go over that. If you actually listen to what I said, I know it's only a goalie at the minute, but he's done more than what Hitchin's done since Hitchin's been here. You know what I mean? At least we've seen the signs of, yes, we are moving on to these deadwoods. Yes, we are moving on, bringing in quality players. So, I mean, with Hitchin, we didn't see that, did we? We didn't see none of this under Hitchin.
I think going back to obviously Bob's point about it's only a goalkeeper. Yeah, but he's young. I was actually pretty impressed with his mindset already for his age. I don't know if you've watched his interview on the club. He wants to win stuff, and I think we need more players like that. He's not coming here to sit on the bench. He's coming here to challenge, Lloris, and Lloris is out of contract next season, so it could be a good deal, and he could become, one of our number one, or he could, slot in there. So I think we need young, fresh players. I think people are, end of the day, he's played in the Champions League. He's actually played in the Premier League before because he played at Aston Villa and he played at Manchester United. So I think he's going to be back in the Premier League for a bit of redemption. And I wouldn't be surprised if he surprises a few people, maybe this season or going into next season. But I think it was a good, smart deal. And, not a lot of clubs are buying a lot of players. I mean, realistically, the only big one is Jadon Sancho to Manchester United. I think it's just a case of, we've just got to be a bit patient. And we've tried buying the big players before and it doesn't seem to work. We've spent 65 million on Ndombele, you know, 45 million on Lo Celso, or 35 million. And, you know, that was a statement from the club, but they can't even last 90 minutes. So I think we've just got to trust the strategy. And yeah, maybe we are getting a bit, you know, carried away with a goalie, but I just quite liked what he stands for, and he's very good at distributing the ball out from the back. So that's what we're going to be. I think that's how we're going to want to play football anyway. So he could be a Hugo Lloris replacement, and he could save you, you know, 20, 25 mil or even 30 mil, and then we can put that into a position that we need more. So I don't understand why people are getting a bit funny about, oh, it's only a goalkeeper. Like you say, Simon, he's done more than Hitchin's done in the last 3 or 4 seasons already.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, you know, and I think we're going in the right direction. So yeah, I think you've got to give credit to him.
Yeah, absolutely. I said, Bob's. It's a good point, Bob's. I'm not disagreeing with you, but that's what me and Matt were saying. We know it's only a goalie, and we're not getting that carried away. But we just like his intentions of moving forward, getting on his deadwoods. I mean, things are moving along with Hitchin. There's nothing of this. You know what I mean? So, Bob's, thanks for your comment there, pal. And Jack said, has Toby Alderweireld gone to a team in Saudi Arabia? I saw rumours he's close. Yeah.
I've heard it's pretty much confirmed, but it just hasn't been announced.
It's done.
Yeah,
it's done. I've seen him.
Yeah, he had the scarf on, didn't he?
Yeah. So it sounds like the deal's been done, and 13 million quid or 40 million.
It's a good deal. It's a really good deal.
Say what you want about Daniel Levy, but I tell you now, he literally gives the last blood out of that stone, and that's why he's probably one of the best negotiators in this game. You know what I mean? We know what a shrewd guy he can be, Daniel Levy. But we know what a tight one he could be as well. But man, for 33 years old, and we're still getting a £14 million out of him. You know what I mean? It's mental money, absolute mental money.
Very good.
Bob says, yeah, Toby's gone, guys. Edwardson, hey again, chaps. How's it going, pal? Thanks for tuning in, matey. How's it going, Lee Fox on Facebook? Yes, pal. Fair comment. Facts and Stats said one director hated transfer windows and the other loves transfer windows. So that's the difference. Exactly. This is what me and Matt was trying to say. Completely. I mean, it's two different people. You know what I mean? It seems like Hitchin didn't like his job, did he? You know what I mean? He's still there at the club, and this is what worries me about it as well. He's still at the club. So I agree with Bob there. I put a comment up on Matty's video update about Gorlin, that the first sign of the Tottenham is typical, really. Who's next? And the boot boy. Listen, how do we know Lloris is not going? You know what I mean? Don't roar Hugo Lloris will be gone by the end of the before beginning of the season. You know what I mean? So that could be a decision why we're bringing him as this guy as well. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. So I mean, we can all pretend to be here. We know everything. You know what I mean? Read all these rumours and things like this. But we don't know nothing's going on behind the scenes. You know what I mean? Hugo could be going. He could be set to, and this guy could be coming in as number one.
But it's not.
We don't know.
It's not like it's the only thing we're doing. We're at more than signing players. We're actually getting rid of the players that don't want to be at our club, or working on that first, and then bringing in positions for that. I think everyone thinks it's sort of like a transfer window. It's sort of like how you do it on FIFA, where you just inquire for a player. It doesn't work like that. There's so many details, and the Tomiyasu thing's a difficult one because he's at the Olympics, and there's players who are not even in the country. They're all on holiday because we've had the Euros as well. And I think a lot of people forget that. I think, okay, it's a goalkeeper, and it's not the most inspiring thing. But why can't we get excited? He looks like he's a new character. He might bring a bit more of a mentality to the dressing room. You need characters in your dressing room, and you need to. Doesn't matter what position it is. you want people who want to win stuff, and he's already come out and said he wants to win big things with Tottenham. It's not like he's come here and just wants to sit on the bench, sort of like a Joe Hart. And to be honest, we've probably replaced Joe Hart as well, and I haven't really been impressed with Joe Hart. I think he's looked pretty shaky in most games, even in the Europa League last season. So I just think,
absolutely.
Give your head to wobble, Spurs fans, and just be a bit patient, and we'll get better players in. We've still got weeks left of the window. Just relax.
Peter says, if we did lose Kane, who would you like to get in to replace? And is there anyone out there? Peter, thanks for your comment there, mate. We will get onto the Kane. I will promise you before we end. Me and Matt, before we go, we will get onto the Kane situation. It's a bit up in the air at the minute. I still say he wants to go 100%, but it's the money at the end of the day, and this is what I'm trying to say. Bob says, I'm not saying he's not a good goalkeeper, happy with him, but we've been linked with players under Hitchin. Bruno, this is what I'm trying to say, Bobs. This is Hitchin we're on about, mate. This is completely different. This is what I'm trying to think now. I know we're still dealing with Daniel Levy. He's got to do the green light. He's got to wave it and say, yes, we can have him. But at least we're seeing a difference, though, Bobs. This is what I'm trying to say. I mean, I know with Bruno, Grealish and Skriniar, Paratici is completely different. I've just seen it from the word go, mate. He's come in. He hasn't sat around the pool and say, right, next week I'll start my job. He's coming from day one. Boom.
He's at every game. He's at every game from what I've seen. And he's on his phone with his earphones in.
I mean, and even he's on the phone at full time. I mean, this guy is like it's like he just wants to do these deals. You know what I mean? And I think, and wants to bring the best. And to me as well, and what's the difference between Hitchin and Paratici is the respect what Paratici has got over Europe. You know what I mean? Hitchin, if you ask people over Europe, ask about Hitchin, they probably never heard of Hitchin. They said, who the hell was Hitchin? These players come from abroad. There's no about Paratici. You know what I mean? They say, yes, I want to come to play under a guy like a Paratici. Do you know what I mean? Because he's won 9 titles at he was involved winning 9 straight titles at Juve. You know what I mean? Look at the job he done there. I mean, look at the job he done at Inter Milan. You know what I mean? This guy, don't be fooled by him. Seriously, he's an absolute great at his job. And I just think Hitchin I think he was just an absolute waste. And he's still a waste. I don't know how he's at the club. I read. Matt, are you worried about how Hitchin's still at this club?
I believe he's probably taken a bit more of a back seat, and maybe Paratici will teach him the ways of how to be a proper, sporting director or to do your job sort of properly. So, hopefully he'll learn, but hopefully Paratici will be here for a long time, and Hitchin will eventually go, or he'll take a completely different sort of role. I know he's in the background, but I believe Paratici is the main one in control, and he'll be communicating with Nuno. I'm pretty sure of that, and I think Hitchin I think he's more just there to learn, really, almost like a sort of maybe like an apprentice sort of thing to Paratici. Try and learn the business, which might not be a bad thing. But yeah, I just think. Yeah, we've got a really good bloke whose work ethic is, well, I don't think you can't question it. As we sort of read the article, he doesn't sleep. He's a winner. He wants to win stuff at the end of the day, and he won't settle for second best or something like that. I think if we really give this guy the full control, which we are at the moment, I think we could be back in business as long as Levy sticks to his word.
Yeah, and we've gone to Bob's saying here, because Bob's, he's got to listen to what we said before, Bob's. I mean, we've already said we know Daniel Levy's at the club. You know what I mean? So I think you're going ahead of Big Mate before you listen to us, mate. We know Daniel Levy's still here. We know he's got to do the green light for his transfers, mate. But it's a difference at the minute, mate. I can see a difference. I think Daniel Levy, he knows he has to change. And this is why I think he's bringing Paratici, he knows something has to change, something has to give. We can't go on like we did. And he said he knows he needs someone more experienced in Europe to come in and sort this defence out. Just get rid of our dead wood. Do you know what I mean? Someone who's good at that job, who can get rid of players and bringing players in. Okay, I know Paratici has trouble over the years getting rid of players, but I just think some of the players we will get rid of some of these dead wood without a shadow of doubt.
He's got rid of he got rid of one. I know people probably didn't want Toby to go, but at the end of the day, he came out and said he wanted to leave, so he's already done one.
And I'd want to say we haven't gotten rid of any of the players that we are out to get rid of. Toby isn't someone I say we're better off without. I think we are. I think his legs are gone, pal. Legs are gone.
Plus, he doesn't want to be there. He didn't want to be there.
Plus, he doesn't want to be there. He's when he said it halfway for the Euros. He doesn't want to. He wants to change. And I just don't think he's got the legs no more. I really don't, Matt.
No, I don't. I think we saw it in the Euros, and he probably was our best defender last season, but it wasn't by like a lot. I'd probably say Rodon was probably one of our better defenders sort of last season if he got more games. Toby, his legs are gone. He can't keep up with the pace of the Premier League. He backs off people. When we watch him, he doesn't put any tackles in. He's not very good in the air. Aerially, he loses a lot of chances. I want players who are going to want to be at the club. I don't want another, Christian Eriksen type scenario where he doesn't want to be there and he's hanging around and then it's that bad atmosphere throughout the club. Get rid of the people that don't want to be there and bring in people who do. And I think the board and I think Paratici knows that, and I think it will get done. Don't get me wrong, I don't think we're going to get rid of everyone, but I think we'll make a good start.
Absolutely. And Eduardo goes, Paratici will still get hamstrung by Lively at some point. Nobody has full ultimate with Lively at the helm. Seriously, I think he'd bring him in, mate. Seriously, to change things.
Yeah.
And as I said just a couple of minutes ago, Daniel Levy knows this is the time we have to start.
I think he's on thin ice. I think he's on really thin ice with Joe Lewis, to be honest.
He knows the fans. He sort of protests for someone to protest and what was going on. And he probably felt some of that pain. He probably felt some of that heat as well. And he's probably going home as well, going, do you know what? I need to change this. I mean, and we don't know. We don't know Daniel Levy 100%, do we? I mean, he's probably going home and worried. I mean, saying, I have to change this here. I mean, and how do we know it ain't been emergency board meetings? I mean, saying something has to go. Something has to give in. And this is why I think he gave Paratici the full control now. I think this guy will, seriously, just give it to the end of the window. And then we can have a discussion. You know what I mean? But in a minute, I still say the signings we've been linked with, they will definitely come in. 100%. 100%. Facts and Stats says first position on any team is get a solid keeper and build from the back to front. Well done, Facts and Stats. He says I disagree. Harry says all right. Side seen the Spurs have been linked with the Irish. Yeah, I'm not going to read that one, mate. I think Arsenal's been linked. Arsenal's been linked because he's an Arsenal fan, Harry. Yeah, I think Arsenal's been linked with him, pal. Jake said thoughts on Son's new deal, guys. Yeah. Let's get on that quickly before we get on to our next transfer. Yes, Heung-min Son, absolutely fantastic. The way we go on about Harry Kane is the most important player of this club. Probably is the right given what we can say about Harry Kane, but this guy is not far behind Harry Kane. Trust me, with what he brings to the club, with his passion for the club. And there was a little article going back a while back when Harry Kane said, like showing his loyalty to the club and things like that. And let's see if he keeps to that. Well, what he said, you know what I mean? Let's see what if he can do what Son. I mean, And when everyone's saying bang on about, oh, Harry Kane deserves, he needs to go win trophies, I totally agree. But don't you think Heung-min Son deserves it as well? This guy has carried us as well when Kane's been injured for 3 or 4 months at a time. You know what I mean? So I don't think Son gets the right thoughts on what when everyone talks about Harry Kane. I don't think he gets the right credit. Heung-min Son. I don't think people know what a great sign that is. Getting Heung-min Son for another 4 years, unbelievable. Seriously, and he's an unbelievable footballer. You know what I mean? We saw him at the weekend. How happy he is again. You know what I mean? And smiles back on his face. And yeah, Matt, quickly on the Son, good deal for you.
Yeah, brilliant. 5-year contract. So he'll be with us till he's at least 33, probably the end of his career. If he wants to be at Tottenham for the end of his career, he's fantastic footballer. And I think, like you say, Simon, it'll be interesting to see how Kane sort of plays it now, with Son really committing his future to the club. Son could go to Bayern Munich, any a club like that, and win trophies. But I think he wants to do it with Tottenham, where he says it feels like home, and he feels love there, and it's brilliant. And I think I think maybe he could have, in my expectations, gone ahead of Kane with his loyalty. I really do think he hasn't come out, said anything bad about the club. I think I'm just disappointed with how Harry Kane's handled it, even before the season finished, to be honest. I think that was the wrong time. I don't think that was him. I do think that was his agent, who's his brother. And there's loads more stories obviously coming out. But yeah, you can't not, love Heung-min Son, right?
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying, guys. Heung-min Son, I don't think he gets the credit.
No.
And what Harry Kane gets. Seriously, I'm telling you now, I don't think people realise how important that guy is as well to us, as well to this club. Not only on the pitch, off the pitch. He brings him. I think he brings him more revenue than Harry Kane. You know what I mean? With his selling shirts and things like that.
It's his energy as well, isn't it? He's always laughing. He's always trying to get other players up for it.
Yeah. So don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? Harry Kane. What a fantastic footballer. You know what I mean?
He is the poster boy, isn't he? But he may have screwed that up, and it could, could go to Son.
I don't think that doesn't matter how much money you get. I mean, you can replace someone like a Harry Kane.
No,
it's like a Ronaldo. You can't replace like a Ronaldo. It doesn't matter how much money you get. You know what I mean? Like a Messi as well. He's at that level. You know what I mean? Like, you can't replace these sort of players. You know what I mean? What I was going to say. Facts and stats. Most clubs will try to solve the outfield problems before getting the goalkeeper dealt with. Facts and stats said this is a rebuild, though, not filling in the gaps in the team. Facts and stats say, so why start with a goalkeeper when we have 3 already, including Lloris, who hasn't gone yet. Rodon, best defender. Made too many mistakes last season, has potentially not ready still. Tanganga was better than Rodon for me.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I say Tanganga is just a bit forward than Rodon in a bit more experienced way. But going forward to next season, we can't rely on these sort of youngsters. That's why I said, even when people can bring Conde and Romero, they're still youngsters. We need experience as well, a mix of experience who's been there and done it. And
they've probably had more experience than Rodon in terms of Champions League football and big league football. So, but I think on the Rodon thing, arguably against when we played Chelsea and got a 0-0 draw at Stamford Bridge, he was brilliant. And then he had quite a good 5 or 6 games, and Mourinho dropped him. And we don't really understand why. I mean, if you look in the Euros, I thought Rodon was easily Wales' best defender. Easily. He outshone Ben Davies for me. So I think the potential, is there. Maybe, and he is very dominant in the air. He's not exactly small, is he? What is he? 6'3", 6'4"? Yeah. So, and he's got that heart of a Welshman as well. So, I mean, I think he'll be one of our future defenders rather than
Yeah,
going
both of them
into
are,
the
Matt.
new season.
Both of them are. They're still young, you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
which is great. It's great to have all this around, but we need experience to
we do.
especially going forward to next season. We need to get back into that top four. I don't care what anyone say. That's got to be our number one priority next year. Getting back into that top four. And a trophy. We need a trophy, but we'll get back to that. CFC Gem says, how long until KANE leaves? Yeah, we're going to get into that. We're going to delve into that, CFC Gem. But thanks for coming on, pal. Absolutely. Matt, on to this other one now, mate. Just quickly go back on Conde quickly. I'm a bit worried about this one, mate. Really, because I don't know again much about this guy. I've been told like by other journalists as well, like what I hear them that saying that they don't think he's worth the money. But what do you think of Conde? Is it someone that we should be looking at, or is it Romero first, then someone in him more experienced to play alongside him, or play Conde alongside Romero?
I want Romero done first because I do believe he's a better defender. You know, I think when you're in a league, you know, full of defenders like Chiellini, Bonucci, you know, Milinkovic in the Serie A, I think for Romero to be better than all of them speaks volumes, actually. He must be a pretty good defender to outshine Chiellini and Bonucci, because we saw what they did to us in the Euros, you know, them two. They were as solid as, you know, maybe, you know, even, I don't know if Paratici could, but if we could get like a Bonucci or someone like that alongside a Romero, I mean, it would be quite, you know, the talks of sort of Jerome Boateng as well, and that's an experienced defender who's been there and done it. But yeah, I'd get Romero done first. From what I know, Seville sort of do kind of like Davinson Sanchez, so maybe you could do a deal alongside that. But yeah, I think it will be interesting. But for me, I'll get Romero done. I know a little bit about Koundé, but not enough. I think he's quite weak in the air. I think he's a bit erratic, so I'm really not sure. I think I'd rather go for Romero for me.
Yeah, I'll go Romero over Koundé. I'll stay clear of him. I'm not really brought on him.
No.
And what I've heard as well, his stats are not great either. So we'll see how that plans out. And plus, he's waiting for Real Madrid. Do we want someone who could want to come play second fiddle to
just
us?
wants to wait. I mean,
No.
We'll be second option.
You either want to come play for Tottenham or not. It's simple as that. Don't use us as like a second fiddle. No. Yeah. So that's another reason why I'll pass on this guy. Next one, Matt. It's this guy, Bryan Gil. Bryan Gil. It's Bryan Gil. That's how Gil.
I reckon it's Hill. I reckon it's Hill.
Yeah. Come out of nowhere. Absolutely left field. I was watching Matty Age thing at the time when Fabrizio Romano broke this. Unbelievable. Seriously, it's come out of absolutely left field. This is what I was saying about Paratici. He can throw 4 or 5 names and it'll be spread over Twitter, Sky Sports News and things like that. But then this guy I've never mentioned, and this is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. I mean, he's taking attention away from someone like Bryan Gil. What I've seen of him, worrying bit, Matt, he couldn't get into the Seville team regularly. I know he's 20. He played for Elba as well.
Yeah.
He's playing in the Olympics. I've seen him a couple of times, clips, and he looks really good. I've seen a couple of clips on the thing. Can't get overjoyed by that because what happened to Lamela. Because when Lamela, when he first came, we watched all these videos, never heard of him. When he come, flipping now, this is guy's the next Messi, next Ronaldo, this flipping dude. What an absolute flipping waste of space that was. So I'm a bit thing with him, but he looks. Does it look like we got someone like a David Silva on our hands?
I mean, there's similar sort of traits, but he's more of a winger, I think, this sort of Hill.
But he can play. He can play as at 10.
Oh, okay. Well,
He can play. He can play a couple
he's got the old David Silva haircut, hasn't he? So, yeah. But no, I think it's one for the future, I think. And it was a deal, just I think to get Lamela out of the club, really, and bring in a youngster who's going to give, a bit of energy, well, I mean, Lamela gave energy, but he just couldn't stay fit. So hopefully this, kid he can. But from what I can see, he's good on the ball, good ball control. He's pretty quick, isn't he? He looks pretty nifty on the, his agility and So I think, I'm pretty happy with it. And he could be one, like you say, for the future. And I think a lot of people in Spain say he's going to be a big player in the next few years. So. And Nuno works pretty well with sort of wingers and that sort of position. Look what he's done with Pedro Neto and Podence and playing Vitinho and players like that. Maybe he could. We've got the Europa Conference League, so he could play in stuff like that and a few of the cup games. So, I think it's an interesting buy and it's one for the future. But you look at Paratici's record; he's obviously spotted him, and this is the guy that I spotted the likes of Chiesa, who shone at the Euros, and we'd never heard of him when he joined, obviously Juventus. So
that's what Fabrizio Romano said as well. He's apparently Paratici. He's seen a similar deal with when he took Chiesa to Juventus and what he's doing now, Brian Hill. To Tottenham. He said it could be similarities here. He said,
and then he probably thought he can take the price down if he offers someone like Lamela, and then it just it's smoothly done.
Absolutely.
And I think
but I'm not getting overhyped. I mean, because we know the Spanish league going from that to the Premier League, which with he's got the most of the attributes. I mean, he's quick, he's skillful. He's what's it called? He's like a Messi, and it's a small little thing that you can go in and out. So I just think he's got all that. I think he's taking time just to get used to the league.
Yeah, but it's hopefully if he can just stay, if he's not like Lamela and he can actually if he can last a full season. He becomes a better squad player already. So already it's an upgrade, especially if he can stay fit for the whole season and you can rely on him off the bench or even, in games where you want to rest your players like your Sons and your Kanes. The problem with Lamela, he could never stay fit. So you had to play those types of players over and over again.
Absolutely.
So, it'd be interesting to see. But, it's another transfer done. And interestingly enough, I don't know if you see a sort of pattern. Obviously, the goalkeeper we've just bought is from Atalanta. Ramiro is from Atalanta. So for me, Paratici's quite a smart man. He's obviously thought, okay, well, I'm going to try and get in with the club here. And then I can maybe, if you do a nice small business with them, get to know them a bit, make some negotiations, you make a bond, and then you go for one of their bigger players and it becomes a bit easier. And it seems to me he may be looking at Seville that way and looking at Akunde that way. By doing a smaller deal with one of their youngsters like Hill, it may be a better relationship than what it would have been under, Hitchin or someone like that. So I think it's smart business again. So long may it continue, mate, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. So with Brian Hill, I think he's I said he's got all the right attributes. He's very low gravity as well, isn't it? I mean, I said so. He's like a Messi sort of type player, but he's 2 miles too early to put him on that bracket with even David Silva or something like that. But I think this could be a real good deal for the future. Absolutely. And this is going on one of a couple of other players. Tommy Iwasu. Matt, where are we at with this? Where are we with this transfer? Where's it going? Do you reckon?
Well,
Before we get that, mate. Before that,
yeah,
we've got
sorry,
some
mate.
comments. We've got Lee Hemmings. Nuno will do well for you. Nice one, Lee. He's a Wolves fan, Lee.
Oh, cheers, Lou.
Nice one, Lee.
I hope so.
Nice
I
one,
hope so.
pal. As I said with Nuno, I'm still out, and the jury's still out on Nuno's. Wasn't my number 1, 2, or 3 choice. I mean,
Well, he wasn't the club's,
absolutely.
was he? So
So that's what I'm saying. So I'm a bit mystic about that. I mean, we couldn't get the Conte deal over the line, but hey, let's see. Let's hope it all works out. Yeah, Matt, where are we with this Tommy Harasu? Where are we? We are with it.
well, from what I've heard, it's very hard to. I think they're waiting for the Olympics to sort of not be done, but they're trying to work a way around getting him in a medical around the Olympics and things like that. It becomes quite messy, especially with COVID. It's not, you can't just fly him
Yeah.
over. You have to quarantine when he comes here. But interestingly enough, he's actually picked up an ankle injury, and there are talks inside the club that are saying they're not sure on the deal now because they don't know if it. Not going to want to buy a player who's going to be unfit for the beginning of the season. So I don't really know. It would be quite interesting to sort of see. But with the ankle injury, they may think they can take the price down.
Well, if he's going to play 3 at the back, and with two wing backs, the one I'll definitely go for, Matt, is to be Tarek Lamptey from Brighton.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
he'd be expensive though, wouldn't
he? It doesn't matter at the end of the day, mate. At the end of the day, he's 18, 19, very good player. I mean, okay, he's just come back from an injury. I don't know. Well, I don't know how far he is with that injury. Is he fully recovered? But
I think he is. Yeah,
he's
I
got
think he
age on
was
his side,
fully
mate.
recovered after the season. But yeah,
and he's quite good at defending. But going forward, mate, this guy, mate, I think he'd get even better. I mean,
I'd love him. Yeah, like you say, he's so quick and so
quick.
but so he can get back as well. It's not like he,
absolutely.
him, maybe a Max Aaron, someone like that. If you can't get this Tommy Asu, I think it'll be interesting to see. I think Spurs will maybe try and drive the bargain down if this injury's quite feared as bad as it is. But then I'd probably rather not have an injured player and go and get someone who can come straight in the team. But I think they're waiting. I think they're waiting to ship off Aurier as well. I think there'll be offers, coming in for him. Apparently, AC Milan sort of maybe want him. So it'd be interesting to see. But I'm sure they've got a plan.
Yeah, absolutely, Matt. Absolutely. So as another player, Tom Ramsey, another one come out of left field. Never seen him play. 22. He's meant to be a good defender. So I don't know. If I had my choice, I'll drop him and I'll go. As I said, Matt, go with someone like a Tarek Lamptey and bring in someone who can. I'd agree with someone who can actually play centre back. Do you know what I mean? And if he's going to go 3 at the back, it looks like he's going to tinker in it. Looks like he's going to. Some games he may play a 4. Some games he may play a 3 and a 2 attack. I mean, so yeah.
I'd be in agreement with it. I'd love to have Tarek Lamptey, or someone like a Max Aarons who English football. But yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. I think it will just be a waiting game.
Absolutely, Matt. Absolutely. But so, guys, I said me and Matt we covered them, and there was a question at the start there. Could we be seeing this again? Harry Kane has been. He has been left out. Well, it sounds like he's not going to play against Man City start of the season. Surprise, surprise. And people say, "Oh, he's that's the amount of time he can have off." To me, it's a joke. Actually. I mean, because the time that comes around, Matt, he's had about 3 weeks or so. Is it something like that? It worked out.
What's he doing on holiday? Is he not relaxing? So he'll be fully rested when he comes. He's in the Caribbean, better than all of us. We're
That's what I'm
stuck in
saying.
bloody England. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's probably. I can't see him doing anything strenuous. I reckon he's just relaxing and recovering, and he can easily get his. He'll be doing running and probably some gym stuff
Matt,
out there. I'm sure of it.
And you telling me that there's other players as well who's been in the Euros, you know what I mean, it's got that far, things like that. I'm not playing for their team at the start of the season.
Will Højbjerg be back? I reckon he will. I'm pretty sure he'll be in the starting 11 against Manchester City. So that's what I mean.
To me, mate,
I think that's
I was a bit sketchy about
camp.
this.
That's his camp stalling, I think.
I was a bit sketchy about this this Sun coming out of this because I mean, we can't really believe the Sun. You know what I mean? But I just still think he wants gone, mate. What Teddy showed him as well. I saw the interview again. I don't know if you saw it on Twitter. Someone put it up on there last night.
Yeah, he was on Talk Sport the other day, wasn't he?
Yeah. And he's saying, seriously, this guy wants to go. He wants to leave, and
yeah, but I
don't think you go on Talk. I don't think you go on Talk Sport in front of all these thousands of people listening, knowing Harry Kane will listen to it as well, saying that Harry Kane.
I think what Kane has to understand is if Man City aren't going to pay the money that we want or anywhere near, then we can't sell him. And he has to understand that. If they're not going to bid 150 they're not even going to go over 100, they've said 100 million. I'm sorry, mate, but that's not enough for a player like that.
Oh, no, 100 million, not a chance. Absolutely. 160, I'll take. 160. Got to think about it, Matt. He's 28.
Yeah.
He's injury prone, mate. He's always got an injury with him, right? He can't go a whole season now without getting an injury for 3 or 4 months. You know what I mean? So,
the rumour is they've put 100 million plus Laporte, but I think the club have gone, no, we don't want that.
We don't know players, as Davey said. I don't know your players. I mean, look, disrespectful. I want cash.
Plus, is a Man City player actually going to want to come to Spurs? Like, really? They're just going to be going against their will. So it's another.
I can still say, he's gunning for a transfer. I don't care what anyone says. I think anybody in a minute, they're just clutching on straws, isn't it? Trying to see like there's anything, and they're entitled to their own opinions. And I mean, I totally respect it. But me personally, I can see into this. I can see Harry Kane definitely wants to go, and he's waiting, mate. And this I think this will be a bird top deal. This can go right to the wire. And I did say the other night, put it on I think Dave's channel the other night. Are we spending Kane's money? What we did with Bale before we let Kane go? I mean, you can read into that as much as you want. You know what I mean? It could be wrong. I could be absolutely talking bullshit. You know what I mean? But
don't get me wrong. I think he wants to go.
I can see there's something going on there, mate. Seriously.
Well, what I found quite interesting today, though, that apparently Joe Lewis is not happy with how Kane and his entourage have come out. You know, the way they've handled it, and apparently he's really pissed off, and he's not going to let him go. So it's not Daniel Levy saying, that's Joe Lewis, and he's the one who owns more of the club. So I think there's a way of dealing with it. How
do you really want to keep a player?
No, but I do think he'd be professional. I think obviously he's got to get back from holiday. I think he's back next week because I think he has to. I think he has to report for training.
Matt, do you reckon he'll give 100% though? I know he's a true professional. I mean, I can't say that away from him. He's an absolute true professional. But knowing he wants to go, mate, knowing like he's at that age now, mate, he probably knows now this is probably his last chance, Matt. He probably knows, mate, this season he can get a horrific injury. And that's it, mate. There's no more big moves. He's stuck with Tottenham.
How many chances has he had to win a trophy with Spurs, and he hasn't turned up in the big games?
Yeah.
In the finals, I mean. He can't blame just us. It's down to him as well. He hasn't scored in a cup final. He hasn't scored in a cup semi-final. I don't think. I'm pretty sure he hasn't. You know, we've been in, you know, during our best years, we were in 2 semi-finals. He didn't turn up for them. We were in a final last year. Didn't turn up for it. We were in the final of the Champions League. He started over Lucas Moura, who scored a hat-trick. Waste of time that was because he didn't turn up. So I don't think it's just. I'm not having a go at Kane. I'm not But I'm just saying he's got to take a little bit of the responsibility as well. And I'd like him to do what Son's done and come out.
And he had a poor Euros as well.
Yeah, he didn't have his best Euros, no.
So.
But yeah,
and this is what I'm trying to say here, Matt. I still say there's definitely, as you said,
I think he'll be stuck at Spurs. I think he'll be stuck at Spurs for a while because next year you're going to have Haaland for 70 million, and I think City would probably go for him. Mbappe wants to leave PSG probably next season. So there's two players who you're going to go for over him already.
Yeah.
I think he may end up staying. He may just have to stay at Spurs. I don't know if that's 100% true, but I think, yeah, like I say, it's a waiting game. But hopefully he's seen what Son's done. At least show a bit of respect to the club, and maybe say, it's not going to happen this year or whatever, and just commit your future. Go and win something with Spurs. Well, I mean, like what I don't know if you saw the other night, that basketball team that won the NBA championship. They're like the equivalent of Spurs or even like Leicester winning the Premier League. And the bloke had he did an interview and he had like offers. He said I could go to a super club and win anything I want, but he said I wanted to stay with my team that I'm at that I love, and he said this means so much more to me. And someone actually, loads of people were saying Spurs fans are sort of tagging KANE in it, and we're like, why can't he do the same? Why can't we build a legacy? He's still got time. We can get this rebuild right, and we can go again.
I just think, Matt, he's sticking his heels in. I really do, and I can see where he's coming from, mate. It'll be a hard deal to do. Daniel, we know what a tough-nosed skater is.
Yeah.
He will not let him go for one penny more than £160 million.
Coming out of City, they've said they're not going over 100 million.
A million, yeah. And
so it's the end. Unless someone else comes in. I mean, PSG may be sniffing around from what I've heard. But I don't think he'd go there. Who's left? Man United, they're not going to be able to afford him. They've just forked out nearly 80 million for Sancho.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
and while we're on the Sancho, actually, who's got the better deal, you reckon? United paying 73 million for Jadon Sancho. Tottenham, we could be getting this David Hill, how you want to pronounce his name, for 20 odd million plus.
I mean,
some people saying that potential. It looks like he could be the better deal.
Sancho's already there, isn't he? He's kind of already there.
Quality in Germany, but the German league, mate, is not great, is it? We've got to really admit that. It's not a great league.
No, it's not the best league. No,
it's not the best league. No.
You look at what Werner and Havertz have done since they've gone to Chelsea. They're in the Bundesliga, absolutely scoring 20, 30 goals a season. Come to the Premier League and they both flopped. Really?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got Jake here saying between the Euros final, July 11th, and Spurs versus Man City, it's 5 weeks difference. Most players will get 3 weeks off, something that don't add up. That's what I'm trying to say. Why does he want all this time off? Why can't he play? I'll start questioning it, Matt. This is what I'm trying to say, mate.
Yeah, I get it, yeah.
And I mean, there's no excuses. I don't care what anyone says. He needs rest. He's a professional footballer. He gets paid a lot of money. And not only Harry Kane, there's a lot of professionals.
Look at Dele Alli. I mean, he could have had a rest over the summer. He went to a pre-season camp in Dubai and worked his arse off. That's commitment to the club. I know people have a go at Dele Alli and say he's not the same player he used to be, but at least he's trying to get off his. He's trying to prove people wrong, and I think he will. Yeah.
We've got the Silver Server. Yes, pal. Thank you for joining in, mate. Come on, you Spurs. We've got. Is it Crocodox? Is that how you pronounce that, Matt?
Crocodox. Yeah, I guess Crocodox.
Yeah.
We'll call him Crocodox.
Are you guys surprised with the amount of business we may be doing this summer? The rebuild may not take as long as we thought. That's what I'm trying to say, pal. This is what we're trying to say. What me and Matt is, he's pushing this. He's getting on with this quick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He knows he don't want his Deadwood to be hanging around when the season starts or the end of the transfer window. He wants it gone. He wants these gone. He wants he's bringing his own men in, and that will just put flipping egg on flipping Hitchen's face. You know what I mean? And what he's been doing wrong over the years. Maybe that's Daniel Levy not giving them money. We don't know. We don't know what's gone on between that when it comes to that. But yeah. So Matt, as the question says, are you guys surprised with the amount of business we may be doing this summer?
No, because I think, you know, I've seen what Paratici does, but I even think even if we didn't have him, we had to. We're going to have to be one. You know, I think this after last season, because we were in such a mess, I think something had to be done, and then the protest would have helped. I think Levy knows he's not stupid. I think Joe Lewis is down his throat quite a lot actually behind the scenes, saying you need to get this right this season. We need my revenue's going down. You know, we're being hated across, you know, our fan base. You know, our membership scheme's down, and you know, it is about money with them, but you know, it's an image as well. I mean, Joe Lewis ain't going to want to have a bad image, is he?
No.
And neither's Daniel Levy. I think, yeah, I think we're going to have a good window, and I think, like you say, I think we're just ticking it along nicely, and I think you know, if we get it right, and you know, it's a happy camp. That our squad's better than 8th that it was last season. I still think our squad's good enough.
Yeah,
we're not a bad side overnight. We do, you know, we were in a bit of turmoil last season, but I wouldn't say write us off.
No, absolutely not. Silver Server says Sancho's overpriced. Well, you go. That's Silver Server saying Sancho's overpriced. Thanks for your comment, pal. Mike Spurs, thanks for coming in, mate. They'll wait till after the Man City game, and he should never have played in the Champions League game. He was injured for a couple of months before.
He declared himself fit. He declared himself fit. So why did he do that?
He wanted to play. I mean, he wanted to play that final. You know what I mean? And I don't think he had the given right to play that final. Really, me personally, the way Mora got us through to that final, and I'm not saying that Mora went on and done wonders. You just don't know, do you? You just don't know. I mean, with someone,
it seemed to have disrupted the team on the night, didn't it?
Yeah,
just the changes and
absolutely. Just to making one decision like that, mate, Matt, it can just really, it can disrupt. So, Mike, thanks for coming there, matey. Silver says, are we sure that Kane won't play? There is no official confirmation. Always, I just want Kane gone, and I'm tired of all this negativity around the club. Oh, I just want Kane gone. Wow, Silver Server. Wow. Big words from Silver Server. He wants Kane gone. Explain why you want Kane gone, Silver Server.
Thing is, I don't think it's him that's actually saying the words. It's his camp. It's his brother who's his agent. He's pushing for him to go. Yeah. And you know, his brother's not a professional agent, so he clearly doesn't know how to handle certain negotiations and situations.
He knows it's a massive deal in for himself. You know what I mean?
If anyone's to blame for this, it's probably his brother, because Kane signed that 3-year contract extension like 2 years ago, wasn't it? He signed quite a big deal, got more money, and you know, and he should have, you know, maybe, yeah, he obviously thought we were going to go on and do something, but you know, it's his agent's fault. He's the one who, you know, shouldn't be angry at the club, really. You signed the contract and you were all happy with it at the time. So it's down to Tottenham what we do now. The ball's in our court. We're you know, they're contractually legally obliged to do what we say, really.
Absolutely.
You know, it's up. If City aren't going to pay the money, or even close to 120 or even 130 mil, it's not going to happen.
We've got Jake, the Liverpool fan. We had the same with Coutinho when he wanted to go to Barca in 2017. He faked a back injury, etc. Had a transfer request in and asked for more time off at the start of the season. Kane to do the same.
I don't see him doing that.
I don't think Kane will fake an injury. No, but I can see Kane sticking his heels in those. He wants this move. I still say he's looking at it still, Matt. He's saying, well, okay, there's Paratici, Nuno. Could it be Conte? different situation. I really do believe if it was Conte, different situation with Harry Kane. Harry Kane would have said, right, one more year, 100%. I don't care what anyone says. Under Nuno, is he blown away by Nuno appointment?
No, probably not. But I think a lot
blown
will
away
tell.
by Paratici.
Yeah,
Probably, yeah. Probably he likes the idea of Paratici, what he's doing. But is that enough to keep him at the club? Keep him away from winning trophies, big money? I mean, that's the idea of it now. This is going to be his last big contract, Matt.
I think we'll find out on the 2nd of August, because that's when he's supposed to come back to the club to start pre-season. I think it's the 2nd or the 3rd of August. All Euro players have to be back. So I think that will tell a lot of the story. Will he turn up? Or will he do like Gareth Bale did back in when he didn't go to training, didn't he?
He has to now. Just think harder what he really wants. I really do.
I think he should listen to the club. I reckon he's going to have a meeting with Nuno and Paratici as well. I'm sure there'll be something staged.
That's the number one thing that Harry Kane is having a meeting with Nuno, Paratici, and Daniel Levy, and to talk it through, see where the club's going. To me, Daniel Levy holds he holds all the balls in it. The ball's in his court. He can say to Harry Kane, "Listen, you're not going. Simple. You've got 3 years left in your contract. Or what? 4 years. You're not going. I mean, simple as that. And just close the door. I mean,
or like you say, Daniel Levy could be. Well, he could be puppeted by Lewis, couldn't he? Lewis could go to him. Right, he's not going. I don't care. He's on. His agent's come out he's come out and said he wants to leave the club. How disrespectful to do that before the season even ends. He went, no, he's not getting his wish. He went, he's going to stay here and suck it up. Yeah, he could do that, because if I'm someone like Joe Lewis, I'm going to be very pissed off or annoyed how he's handled it. Like you say, it wasn't even during the Euros. It was during when we still had 3 or 4 big games left. And mate, who knows? Without that bad atmosphere, we might have gone. I'm not saying we would have got top 4, but there was enough good football there, especially against Leicester in the last game of the season, to suggest that we could have gone on and got higher up that table. But it was more disruption. It came out at the wrong time, and I think the club are going to be very disappointed with that. And I think it wouldn't have helped his case at all.
Yeah, absolutely, Matt. So, guys, if you are in the chat, guys, and you just come in watching us, guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel, guys. Smash the like, guys, and keep bringing the comments here, guys. Me and Matt will run for another 10 minutes, Matt. Yeah. Silver Server says there is no proper confirmation source that Kane won't start the season. Mike says should have had this rebuild while Poch was asking for it. I still say he didn't trust. I think there's more into it, Matt, with Pochettino.
Yeah.
I don't think Dan Levy trusted him.
Would have been lovely with Poch and Paratici, wouldn't it? I mean, that could have been quite a tasty little. If he had someone like
Pochettino,
that.
He did have a plan B, and this is the worry with Nuno. Similar managers, similar coaches,
but I do think
that's why I say
I think Nuno's a bit more tactically adept, because I've seen the way Wolves can change a game just by the second half, or with a sub or a switch of formation. I think Wolves were just
correct.
They were hit with a lot of it.
Matt.
Yeah, exactly. They were hit with a lot of injuries last season. Wolves, I think, they pretty much lost 4 of their star players, and were no striker. They had to rely on an 18-year-old who's can't even speak full English. Pedro Neto, he had a pretty good season, and then he was out for the rest of the season when he got an injury, and he was arguably one of their better players. Traore didn't have the same impact that he had last season. Yeah, and they lost players like Jota and even Doherty. So yeah, I do think Nuno had a lot of stick last season, and he had to play a back 4 when we know they can't really play a back 4. They like to play a back 3, but they just couldn't do it because of the injuries they had. So they had to try and adjust, and it just didn't work.
Absolutely, Matt. Absolutely. Christopher says England captain Harry Kane is set to miss the start of the Premier League season after this extensions at the European Championship. The Tottenham forward favours a move to Manchester City Telegraph. I think he's trying to say something to that silver server, which he goes on and says thoughts on Dele Alli this season. We'll get onto Dele in a minute. Bunking up says if we have to replace Kane, which will be never impossible, who do you want to see come in? Oof.
I just can't. Well, I know who I want, but he's just not attainable. I'd like Lukaku, but he said he's going to stay at Inter, and he wouldn't come to Tottenham. So, apart from someone like that, or even like a Haaland, or I just can't see who there is.
Guy from Fiorentina as well.
Yeah, but is he any good? Vlasic or whatever his name is, isn't it?
Yeah.
See, I'm not sure. We've tried to buy foreign, but and I'm not sure. I haven't seen enough of him, to be honest. I don't think Serie A is that good of a league anyway, to be honest. But I don't know.
Christopher says Dusan.
Yeah, I haven't seen enough of him, to be honest. So I can't really.
No.
But when we bought Soldado, we thought we had a goal scoring machine, and he was rubbish.
Yeah, and this the worry, isn't it? It's the worry for when we do sell someone like Harry Kane.
You lose 20. It's not easy. You have to go and find another striker who's going to score you at least 20 goals a season. And as you know,
Ings could be a good bet.
I think he'd do a job, but he'd get injured. He would get injured because knowing us, we wouldn't buy another striker alongside him. You know, I do think Dane Scarlett's one for the future, but I don't think he's a direct replacement straight away. No, I'd love to see him integrated more into the team this season.
Or Belotti.
Yeah, Belotti would be pretty good, but I quite like Immobile as well. I thought he was better for Italy than Belotti was actually. You know, maybe someone like a Watkins from Villa. I don't know. I wouldn't say no to Watkins. I think he could be a good player. You know,
a Chiesa.
Yeah, but he's more of a winger, isn't he?
How much would he cost, though, Matt? Chiesa.
Chelsea had a bid for 86 million turned down. So you tell me.
He's a baller. He's a baller, isn't it? He's an absolute baller.
I think if we do sell Kane, you can't directly replace him, but you need to do what Liverpool did, and you have to build another front three around him and share the goals between them, and you can make a better team overall. I think that would be a way of going about it. I don't think you can directly replace him because I don't think there's a player like him, to be honest.
Absolutely.
But I think what you do is you've got Son on the left. You find someone who could possibly, even if it's 12 to 15 goals on the right wing, which I don't think we have, then I think, that's another way of doing it. I think you have to look at the way Liverpool have done it on a model where they lost Coutinho and Suarez. They went and completely they bought a whole new sort of front three, didn't they? And they share the goals between them, and they've got players. Well, they did have like Wijnaldum, who could get 5 to 6 goals a season as well. And I think that's what we need to see more of from Ndombele and Lo Celso. They've got to chip in more next season.
And maybe put Heung-min Son up top.
Well, maybe, but he does prefer the left-hand side, doesn't he? Maybe you go for someone, like you say, like this Vlasic or whatever his name, Vlasic, or just someone who can even hold the ball up and bring others into play. Like what a Bobby Firmino does, sort of thing, but maybe with a few more goals. I think that's the only way you go about it. You have to find goals across the team, because I don't think you're gonna. It's so hard to find a striker who's gonna guarantee you 20 goals a season.
Absolutely. Got Thomas here. Thomas, thanks for coming in, pal. We don't need to replace Kane. We need to strengthen defence. Then we only need a good forward. If you sell Harry Kane, you need to replace him. You need to replace him. I know what you said there. A good forward. But you've got to try and replace him.
You can have a good defence, but if you can't score a goal, there's no bloody point.
Yeah,
because you just draw
absolutely.
0-0 all the time.
Because all we're going from one extreme to another extreme to having a really good
Exactly.
attack, sit defence, a really good defence, and a shit attack.
They say
I mean,
the best
and
form of defence is attack. So
yeah, exactly. But thanks for your comment there, Thomas. Thanks for that, pal. Mike says, to be honest, don't think we can blame totally on Kane for ruining our season. There were a few more players that didn't give their all for the club. I don't think it was a great season after all last season.
no, I think
Mike.
I think Jose may have put us sort of into the sort of scenario what Man United are in, and they had to rebuild and get back a structure of the club. And I think, you know, even Man United fans warned us that it might happen as well. And we, you know, when we were riding high, we were like, we don't know what you're on about, really. But yeah, you know, hopefully I think the players just took a lot of bad confidence sort of turns. I mean, look at someone like Luke Shaw, how he's turned his form around after Mourinho. I think it's incredible, really. And I think someone like Dele Alli needs to take, or whoever's had a bad confidence knock, has to take what Luke Shaw's done and go from there and rebuild, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Jake says, ain't you got that Dane Scarlett kid? Do you think he can step up for the team this season? Next season?
I think he'll
he's a
be
good
more.
striker.
I think he's going to be phenomenal, mate. I really do. I can see the attributes now, and a lot of people. I don't know if you saw Japhet Tanganga's sort of.
But is it time now, Matt? If we think if he's that good,
well, maybe, yeah. But I think he'll play, and Well, you can't just. I mean, he could be on the bench for the Premier League games, and you know when if Kane stays and he's tired.
When Rudy's come on the scene and the Owens come on the scene at that age,
yeah.
the Liverpools and the Evertons that say, "Oh, you're 16. Wait on. You're going to wait till you're 20 till you flipping start playing for us." No, they didn't, did they? They said, "If you're good enough, you're going into this team."
But this is what I do with the cup competitions, and especially the Conference League. I back him in.
Competition, Matt. I straight in the league, mate. If we do, this is the problem, and this is what I hate hearing all the time. All these hopes. Oh, he's great hope for the future. We hear this every single thing, and then 2-3 years down the line, we're still talking about this fucking player. Like he's 2-3 years down the line, we're still talking. He's the future. No. Other clubs, mate. If he's that flipping good, you'll be bedded in.
I think he will. I think he will be embedded in. Last season, he wasn't really part of it. Well, Mourinho said last season he'll be part of the squad next year, so I think he'll be part of the squad. But if Kane stays, he's not going to start, is he? So. But Nuno apparently wants to play two strikers up front, doesn't he? So could you play Kane and Scarlett up front? I mean, it's two very different types of forwards. You got Scarlett who will run in behind, and then you got Kane who could drop deep and play the ball in behind. You know, Son will open up more space. It could work. It could work. I mean, I wouldn't.
If Kane stays, I'll get someone like a Danny Ings still in and play Scarlett as well. Give him time. You know what I mean? But.
Or you could bring Scarlett off the bench, couldn't you? You know, as a bit more of an like he'd be part of the squad, but he's not going to start. But when stuff's going wrong, I mean,
every single season.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great finish that he had in the pre-season game. Actually, that he scored, I thought it was a great take. And even against Colchester, that first time volley he did. I mean, the confidence for 17 to slot that in. I mean, I know it was offside, but I just
think, mate. I just think. We need to stop being pity-patting around these youngsters of ours and saying, "Oh, they're great youngsters. You wait till they're flipping 4 years down the line." About 4 years down the line, let's get them in now. Let's get them in. I mean,
I think that's what Nuno's doing with pre-season. You know, I've quite liked the look of Scarlett. I really like the look of them. Is it Niall John? I don't know.
Niall John.
He looks pretty good. He's an attacking midfielder, isn't he? The attacking midfield. So. I wouldn't mind him embedded in as well. You know, I'd like to see us go back to where we were bringing the youngsters through. Definitely.
Not only Tottenham. There's other clubs as well. I said about we've got to protect our youngsters. Yeah. Seriously, if you keep saying they're flipping this good, right? I mean, get them in there.
But I do like the way. Yeah, I do like the way Man City did the Foden scenario, where they made him learn off a player like a David Silva before he left, and then he was ready to fill the boots. So maybe that's what they could do that next season. He'll be training with KANE if he stays, or and he could be playing with him a couple of games, and I think that'll be a good learning curve, because when they asked Scarlett who's your, footballing striker you look up to, he said Harry Kane, but he also said the original R9 Ronaldo, not Cristiano, the proper, which I thought was pretty good actually, because you look at those two strikers, they are just goal scorers, aren't they? But they also do more for the game, and I think he's quite mature for his age as well, from what I've heard with, and a lot of people inside the club and even players who play with him, even some of the senior players say he's going to be a talent. So I think there will be a plan going forward with him. You just don't want to rush fully his development and ruin his confidence. But I think a manager like Nuno will actually probably give him a go. I'm kind of glad Mourinho isn't going to get his claws into Scarlett, because he could have damaged him in terms of like what he did to Luke Shaw. So
yeah, absolutely, Matt. Absolutely, pal. Chris saying, did you see Hill at the game today? Come on, and the second half and help turn the game. Great player to come. No, do you know what? I'm going to watch it later, Chris.
I'll have a couple times.
Yeah. Nice one for your comment there, pal. Jake say, has Nuno come in showing he's going to play a back three, or will he go for a back four, which he tried to do with Wolves last
season? We don't really know, do we? Because he hasn't got his whole squad back yet. That's the problem.
He's talked of he's going to switch up. Depends on who he's playing. Apparently, he's going to be very tactical this season. So
I think it depends who he gets in as well. Because if you get someone in like Ramiro, he doesn't really play a back four. He's used to playing in a back three. And then I'm thinking, well, when we bought Doherty, he's used to a back three, and we played him in a back four, and he completely flattened it. So I'd rather play a player in a sort of formation, especially if he's going to be new to a league, to what he's comfortable with. But I'm sure he can do both. But yeah, I mean, I think we'd be pretty good with a back three. I think we've got the wing backs. Well, I definitely think we've got a good left side anyway. Reguilon, Sessegnon coming back now as well. And then, your right wing back, you could have Doherty and hopefully someone like a Tomiyasu or even a Lamptey or an Aaron. So, yeah, I think you could play. That could be exciting football again. We pretty much did play a back three under Poch, didn't we, really? We played wing backs. We played Kyle Walker and Danny Rose, and that was some of our best, well, it's the best football I've ever seen Tottenham play anyway.
Yeah, we've got Thomas here. He says, my point was that we don't need to replace Kane with a world-class striker. All right, okay. A good one will do if we are better in the middle and defence. So far, okay, right, I understand what you're trying to say, Thomas. Yeah, I'll totally agree with you, mate. Absolutely, totally agree. Matt, can you pronounce that name? Give it a go.
Marci Pulami? Marci Pulami.
Thanks.
I'll go with that.
Thanks for coming in, pal. It says I'm not great with pronunciations. Matt's the one. So should Skip be first team now? You know what? He's not doing his harm, is he? In these, especially against
that ball the other night.
Ball,
on the volley. I was like, no, Harry Winks could not do that. I'm sorry, but he can't.
He has to do this in the Premier League, Matt.
Yeah.
Week in, week out.
I think for me, he's not going to be a starter. But what I think he could do is for example, like let's say we're playing Man United or City one week. I believe Højbjerg would play with whoever or on his own. And then maybe, to give Højbjerg a rest rather than get him to play like 50 games again a season. Because towards the end of the season, he wasn't the same Højbjerg, was he? He was completely knackered. Let's say we're playing someone like a Norwich or someone like that. You could put Skip in for a game like that, and you could rotate every now and again just to freshen it up. Or if, like you say, Skip could come in for the cup competitions, and then we rest our better players for the league to get back into the top four as well. I think that's going to be key next in the new season as well. So I think he will be a big part, but I don't think he's going to. I don't think we'll be seeing them both together because I think we need a bit more. It's not creative enough for me. Højbjerg and Skip, they're two quite similar sort of players.
Yeah, absolutely. Here you go, Matt. Matt's bringing you the lowdown on Skip for next season, guys. Derek's thanks for coming in, pal. Doherty's going. Nuno does. Is going. Nuno does. Or want him?
I don't understand that because unless
want
Nuno wanted him to go
he's
when he
going.
was
Nuno
at Wolves. It's interesting. I thought he might, because he hasn't even come in for a game yet, has he? Under Nuno.
And and I can see where Derek's coming from actually. Absolute Derek, I can see where he's coming from there, mate. And Matt's not got the head there that he didn't actually. He hasn't really played, has he? He hasn't got involved.
We haven't even seen Reguilon either.
No, and that's the thing. He hasn't really got. So Reguilon, I think we'll see more of him now. Probably MK Dons and with the Arsenal, Chelsea. Matt, we'll go on to that one quickly before we go, mate. We've got Leicester till I die. Yes, Chris. Yes, Chris.
Oh, Chris, how you doing,
this
mate?
guy. Yes, Chris. Hi, guys. Good show. As Nuno Santo was about the 8th choice to be your manager, are you happy with the appointment? I'll start with this one, Chris. Chris, first of all, pal, thanks for coming on, mate. Thanks for coming into the chat. Absolutely fantastic to see you again in the chat. And we have to get you back on, mate. Fantastic guy. Everyone go over to Leicester till I die TV. This guy is absolutely superb. Absolutely fantastic. Yes, it was about 8th choice, Chris. 100%, I can agree with that. Are you happy? I'm gonna have to be. The jury's out, Chris. That's what I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. The jury's still out on Nuno. Conte, it's this. Do you know what it is, Chris? If they went straight from Mourinho and the next day or something like that, Nuno's come in, I don't think there would have been much bother with the actual appointment. I think everyone said, do you know what? Okay, we've got Nuno in. But when we've gone from Conte is absolutely nailed on, even like tier 1 guys saying, apart from a disaster, this deal is going to be done. Then we've gone on from him to Fonseca 3 weeks down the line. That's how it went. Gattuso, I mean, and then we went on to Nuno. I think the only thing I can say about Paratici, he hasn't dealt with this well, has he? With this managerial thing, he helped out Matt.
True.
I don't think I can pick him out on that one. Don't think he's done well.
But we don't know. We don't know what went down. We don't know what went down with Conte. That's who we wanted, I believe, anyway.
Yes, 100%. And so with me, Chris, the jury's still out with me for Nuno. The only good thing, that's what Derek said there, he knows the Premier League. And that's and we are looking for experience at the back. I'd like to go and get his captain from Wolves, Conor Cody. Absolutely, I think he'll be fantastic. I think that guy is so underrated. Seriously, there's not a lot of people talk about Conor Cody. When everyone raps on about these other, especially like we've got Roden and Tanganga, Cody. You know what I mean? That's the one we need at the minute. You know what I mean, these guys can learn from these sort of players. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
Matt, Chris, and are you happy with the appointment of Nuno Espirito Santo?
Do you know what, Chris? I'm just happy that it was fine. We finally just got a manager in, and we can just get cracking again. You know what? It has been a tough few years being a Spurs fan. I mean, I'm sure you'll agree with that, Simon. It hasn't been easy, has it? Especially last season, even the season before. Obviously, when you go from Conte, to someone like Gattuso, and then it was a merry-go-round, really. I'm just glad it's done, and I think Nuno was the best out of the bad bunch. And the way I'll end it is Poch wasn't first choice for Tottenham, and that ended pretty well. So I'll give him a hell of a good go. I do like his passion. If you win a game, the way he goes up to the crowd and sort of pumps them up like he did for Wolves, I'd love to see him do that. Huh?
We had that with Jose, innit?
Yeah, but I like the way Nuno did it, where he sort of he controls the sort of fans with Wolves. So if you watch a couple of clips, but I'd love to see him do that, and obviously in the South Stand, and you can imagine that erupting.
Matt, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong on Nuno. Absolutely fantastic. Seriously, what he's done at Wolves, done a great job. I'm not saying he's a bad manager, but when you get linked with someone like Conte, it's hard to take at the minute, mate.
It is.
It's hard to take.
It really is. I know
I'm
what you mean.
and do you know what? I hope he does come and he proves me wrong. You know what I mean? And I'll say, old man, to say, right, the guy's proving wrong, but the jury's still out with me.
Yeah, I think from me, what you'll get from him is we'll be a lot fitter next season. There'll be a lot more pressing next season, I believe, and no more slow build up. I reckon I think all pre-season at the moment is about fitness, and then I think he's going to work his game plan in when he's got all his, when everyone's back from the Euros. But we've got few youngsters coming through. There's been a few good, glimpses in the pre-season. I know you can't read too much into it, but there's a bit of optimism there. The players look happy. Everyone's having a laugh. Son signed a new contract, 5 years. And we're getting
Sonny, lad.
And we're getting business done, which I'm pretty happy with. And if we get Ramiro and things like that, I just think maybe Spurs are going under the radar here, and we could possibly do something and surprise a few people next season. I think a lot of clubs will go, "Oh, it's Spurs. They're completely sort of not done as a club, but they're not as good as they used to be." And
I'll tell you now.
It could fuel some certain players like a Dele Alli. People will go, "Oh, you're finished, mate. You're rubbish now." Like Lingard and Mount are better than you, and it could just fuel the fire, and he could have a good season.
But the thing is, there, Matt, I've been watching other fans' TV as well. I like watching. I do like watching Dom Robbie. When he's got expressions on. I think Dom Robbie's quality.
Yeah.
He had Fabrizio Romano the other day, and even he's he's quite worried about the signings that Spurs making. If you go and watch his video, mate, he's quite
worried
quite
in
impressed.
like a good way, like in terms of worried for other teams. Is that what you mean? Yeah.
That he knows Spurs are making good strides.
Yeah, I think Spurs have got the foot on the accelerator. I really do, mate, because I think this really is make or break now for Levy. I really do. I think.
Yeah. That's what me and you've been saying all along, Matt.
Yeah,
you've been saying along.
And a lot of people said, these protests aren't going to do anything, but it may have woken the club the hell up, especially the board, and especially when the fan, what they called the supporters trust, they went against the board as well. That was a massive thing. So I think it'll be interesting. I think next season we're going to have a stadium fully packed as well, and I think that could be a hell of a game changer. I think it's going to be. I don't think there's going to be I think it could go a bit more back to normal next season rather than seeing loads of different results all over the place. I just think if we get the business that we need done, I think we could, like I say, not saying everyone be sort of worried, but I think we could be going under the radar, and I think we could be, quietly going about our business and doing a good job.
Absolutely, Matt. So there is over 30 odd people in the chat, which is very good numbers for me and Matt. So just been coming back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we appreciate
2 o'clock in there, or 2:30 in the afternoon. Normally do a night one, but yeah.
Knowing that this only our second show back for over a month. You know what I mean? So we do appreciate everyone still following us and still supports the channel. And if you haven't subscribed, guys, subscribe to the channel, guys. Smash the like, guys. Keep bringing your comments in, guys. And Leicester Till I Die TV. He says, thanks and fair points. Agree with Cody. Catch me on Tuesday, 3 p.m. interviewing for Fabrizio Romano. Guys,
I'll check that out, Chris. I'll check that out.
Get over to Leicester Till I Die TV, guys. Chris, as well, if you're still in the chat, mate, could you just ask a couple of things about Tottenham? I know you're going to be it's more on Leicester. Could you just ask one of these 2 of these transfers? So 'cause I know Don Robbie did. He went across the board. He did ask about a few transfers to Tottenham. Matt, pronunciation, lad. What's this one?
Marcy
We've had this one
Palami.
before.
Yeah, we have Marcy Palami.
Yeah,
I'm
we
going
will
to
see a
call.
return to the high.
We'll call him Marcy. I think that's just
Mars,
easier.
yeah. High pressing game that made us so successful under Pochettino. Do you guys agree that Dyer and Winks need to be sold? Absolutely, 100%.
Oh, get gone. Honestly, I
Yeah,
don't want to see Harry Winks in a
100%.
Tottenham shirt now. I don't even want to
Yeah.
see Dyer in a Tottenham shirt this
Yeah.
season.
Absolutely,
Get
100%.
them
These
gone.
guys need to
I've
be
had
gone.
enough.
They've overstayed their stay now. They've
Oliver Skipp is a better player than Harry Winks, and Harry Winks should be in the prime of his career, probably round about now.
Harry Winks, mate, against Leyton Orient and Colchester, mate, it was terrible. Absolutely flipping
But
terrible.
you just look at other teams' central midfielder when we've got Winks. James Ward-Prowse, better player, much better, does more off the ball than Winks, so he's better at defending. That's not even his job. I don't know what Winks does apart from pass it sideways because he can't defend, he can't hold the ball up, he can't keep the ball, and he doesn't score or assist. So what does he do? I don't see 100%. How people think he's a good player. Terrible.
So Derek says swap diabolical for Connor Cody. Yeah, absolutely 100%.
Or if you couldn't get Cody, I would love a Tyrone Mings or even like someone like that. Another commanding sort of. Lewis Dunk would be a good one as well, but it'd be quite hard to get hold of, I think. But it's someone on those lines like a Cody or a Dunk or a Mings, someone who's a leader for their team. Pretty
Ben
much.
White, man. Is he overrated?
Is Ben White overrated? Obviously, no. He's an absolute baller, mate. Trust me, he's quality, and he can play in midfield as well. So, yeah,
I can see Arsenal ruining him.
Yeah, probably. If I was Ben White, I would have stayed at Brighton for another season because I do think they're building something at Brighton.
I went to a proper club.
Yeah, but I think he's guaranteed to start at Brighton, so why wouldn't he stay? I mean, I think if you're Brighton, you're taking the 50 million. I think because of his age and he's English, so automatically his price doubles for some reason because he's English. I'll give credit to Arsenal because I do think it is a good buy, but he needs someone like a Dunk alongside him, and I don't think he's got that at Arsenal. So I don't think you'll quite see the same Ben White next season. That's my prediction.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I do think he's a good player.
Chris says, take care, guys. Good luck for the season. Chris, thanks very much, pal. And we'll definitely get you one, pal. When Expressions calls Eric Dyer Eric Diabolical and says a mistake is written on his birth certificate, cracks me up so bad. He is, I'll tell you what, Jake, mate. That's why I like watching Don Robbie with
because Expressions is on it, isn't it?
When it was Don Robbie and with Troops, I'm not being nasty. I did not like it. I mean, there's all that bam, and all that. I just could not watch it. I just think them two they got a connection that it's just brilliant, absolutely.
Yeah, they wind each other up, don't they? But it's just friendly banter. It is good.
Morris says, great show, guys. Enable the super chats. We can't enable the super chats. I don't know when it gets over 1,000. Like I don't know how it works. I know you got to get over to a minimum thousands of subscribers, then you got to get monetized and things like that.
Yeah.
So we're just cracking along. We're
We're quite happy just reading the chat. We like talking to everyone. We're not really interested. We just like talking about Tottenham.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's a hobby, basically, guys. It's not like we're doing it to. We just enjoy it, and I enjoyed, catching up with Simon and catching up with you guys and talking about the club that we all love.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, amongst other things as well, but
yeah. he said, "How excited are you about the prospect if Levy pulls off the Romero and Conde as new potential centre and defensive pairing to four?"
Oh, well, I mean, I think we'd all be happy because it's a new
Conde,
centre backs. But
yeah, but me and Matt's already talked about it. Romero over Conde all day long.
if I was, you got another centre back from Seville called Diego Carlos, and I think he'd be good alongside like a Ramiro because he's physically more dominant. He's taller. I think he's about 6'3".
Seems like Seville are more happy to let.
Yeah, exactly.
Conde
so why
go
are they
over the
happy to sell him? Because he did actually have a good season last year. He got into the La Liga team of the season. He had a good season, but I don't know. Why can't we just sniff around Rafael Varane if we're going to pay 50 million for Kunde? I'm not saying we'd get him, but you could at least inquire.
Yeah. And Derek says, send Dyer to Arsenal to help Ben White. Hey. Arsenal for life. Hey guys, how's it going, pal? And Jack said, will you do a fans call-in shows in the scene? Yeah, of course we will. I said at the minute we only do once a week at the minute. But that may change.
Yeah, well, when the season's up and running, we'll probably be, there'll be a lot. Well, hopefully a few watch-alongs and things like that.
At the minute, I can't see pointers doing shows every day. What are you talking about? That's just what you end up getting bored. You end up just talking about random crap, and I can't see why put on the show about random crap.
Yeah, we like this one a week, especially during the transfer window, because it just gives us a lot will happen in a week. A lot will happen in a week, so it gives us a lot to talk about.
I mean, we've got to catch up on,
But we don't want to make we don't want to make just a video for the sake of it. We quite like the quality rather than the quantity. Is that right?
Yeah, that's it. So hey guys, I said there's still over 32 in the chat, guys. Smash the like, guys. I'll expect 32 likes, guys. Smash the subscribe if you're new to the channel, guys. Smash the subscribe, and just leave the comments in there, guys. Me and Matt's gonna be a couple more minutes because I just want to Matt's our last discuss before let Matt go. I know he's busy with his mother-in-law's birthday today. Matt, is it?
It is, yeah. If everyone can wish her, my girlfriend's mum,
happy birthday,
Gwen, happy birthday in the chat, that would be great.
Gwen,
yeah.
Gwen, happy birthday, Gwen. Happy birthday, Gwen. And Deli Ali. Actually, Derek said, what about Milinkovic? Is it Milinkovic?
I think that's sailed. I think that ship's sailed now.
Yeah. I think definitely. 100%.
I think Ramiro would be a better player. Actually, I think it could be. It's the one that Paratici wants. I think so. Normally, it's his first man. So I think, I trust him, to be honest. And he would have spoke to Nuno. So
it was someone who wanted to know about Dele Alli in the chat. I think it's Silver Server wanting to know about Dele Alli.
He asked about what do we think of. Oh, thank you. I'll let her know.
Morris. Oh dear. Before we get on Dele Alli, let's have a little laugh with this Arsenal fan there. Terry Abraham would be a good replacement for Kane.
I'd rather have Danny Ings.
Mate, seriously, I don't know why you're laughing, pal, because he is going to Arsenal, mate. I've heard,
40 million, apparently, or 40, 50 million.
What I've heard, right? Apparently, I've watched a few Arsenal shows and very good sources. They got very good sources close to this deal, and they reckon this deal is very close. So
they don't even need a striker. They've got Lacazette and Aubameyang.
So
unless one of them's going.
We've got Spurs 95 point. Yes, pal. Thank you for joining, pal. Great show, guys. Heard Anderson going to Palace. Thought we were interested. That sailed. I did say to everyone last year that he was all right. I mean, because I said I didn't see him much. I know he was at Fulham, but I didn't see him much. What I saw of him, he done all right. I mean,
he's good he's good in the air, but not very good on the ball.
But would you like him over Romero?
Well, 25 million is quite a lot for him. I mean,
exactly. We don't know it. I mean, so yeah. But thanks for your comment there, pal. Thank you very much.
Great signing for Crystal Palace, though, if they get him.
Yeah,
Definitely.
absolutely. Silver Star say, who else do you think we will sign this summer? New forward, but who? We'll quickly get onto this one, then Dele Alli, then we'll. Who else do you think? I'll tell you now. Don't rule out any surprise signings still.
Yeah, that's true.
They're boiling behind City. Paratici will be.
Yeah.
He'll be coming out saying, right, we're after him, like we're doing like Brian Hill. He'll come out with, he'll be no skate with someone else. You know what I mean?
Do you think he does it?
Sounds like he's trying to.
Do you think he does it to stop the media getting hold of it as quick? Because if he has 10 different targets and then he goes, right, I'm just going to surprise him with this.
What happens, Matt? If we're after a player, yeah.
Well, it just somehow gets leaked all the time, doesn't it?
Right. Some other club will go, do you know what? I'm fucking going to go for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and they can probably beat us to it. I think he likes to keep his cards close to his chest. He likes to throw all these deals out, mate. And I think he'll be. I think there's a couple surprise signings yet. Don't rule it out. Do not rule it out. I don't know who, but I think Romero will come in. Hill will come in. We've got the goalie. Wouldn't surprise me to get Danny Ings in for the door. Yeah. Probably the last couple of days of the rest of the window. Depends on. How
for
much
20 million, I probably would take him, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. So, apart from that, Matt, who else would you like?
Well, this is who I think we'll get. Obviously, we've got the goalkeeper. I think we'll get Ramiro. I think we'll get that Kunde. I don't know why. I just think that will be done. We haven't spoken. Well, Tommy Asu will probably likely be done, or if not him, it is probably going to be one of Aaron's or Lamptey, because I think we'll put the money forward. Or you could even offer a player like Doherty to him, part swap with a bit of cash for Lamptey or someone. Do you know what I mean? Something like that. We'll get Danny Ings. I think that will be done near the end. I think Southampton will have not really a choice because he doesn't want to sign a new contract. I think he's got 1 year left. So I think we'll get him. I still think we'll get a central midfielder, but I don't know. It depends who goes. If we get rid of Sissoko or someone like that, you're going to have to bring in another midfielder. And I wouldn't mind that Aouar from Lyon, but I'm not sure if it. Depends if he wants to come. I think that'll be it. I'll go. So we've got the goalkeeper. We've got Hill. I think we'll get Ramiro, Kunde, and I think Ings. I think it'll be five overall, to be honest. And then I think we'll get rid of a lot of the deadwood.
Right, here we go, and that's us. With that, he's all about this Valentina striker.
I need to watch this guy because everyone goes on about him.
We prefer the volunteer forward. Darmstadt, yeah.
Another one. I love him. He reminded me a bit of Christian Eriksen, sort of.
Yeah, I need to see more of him though, Matt.
Yeah, true.
He's done all right. Done all right.
For 25 million though, maybe take a gamble. Maybe.
I'd rather have Kessie.
Oh, now you're talking. Yeah, I forgot. But he's on a free next year as well, I believe. Even if we couldn't get in this summer, if we could somehow do like what Chelsea do and arrange it for next season or some sort of deal in place so we can get him because he's a really good player, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Matt, before we so guys, still it's over 30 odd in the chat, guys. Thank you very much for who's kept with us, guys. Got up to 2 hours long. Me, Matt's an info cup. So I want to ask Matt one more question. Smash the like, guys. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, guys. And share this video out, guys. Share the channel out as well, guys. Matt, Dele Alli, Silver Server asked earlier.
Yep.
Where is it? Where we go with Dele Alli? People absolutely writing this guy off. I'm not liking it to see what everyone's entitled to their own opinion, you know what I mean? So don't get me wrong. I mean, but at the end of the day, Is he getting unfair distraction, unfair comments about him? Is it unfair what everyone's saying about him, mate? Is definitely a player in him? Do you believe that Nuno can get the best out of him this season?
Yeah, there's a player in there. There's no question about it. He loves Tottenham. You can see it. You don't go out of your way. I think he's got that bit between his teeth where he's pissed off. I think he's had enough of people saying you're finished, you're not any good anymore. He would have watched that, that tournament that we've just had in the Euros, and he would have thought, I want to be part of that for the World Cup next year. You can't tell me he wouldn't want to be part of that because he was part of it. I think he could offer something different. His new role under Nuno was quite interesting to watch against Colchester and Leyton Orient. He'll play in the number 10 role, but what Nuno will get him to do is when he needs to, he'll drop into a third midfielder. So it will turn into like a 3-4-3 or even a 4-3-3 in midfield. So he can help out that way. He looks fitter this season. I think you can see it through his pictures. He's posted on his Instagram. He's been working hard out of the season. And, when you work hard and give it your all, you get rewarded. So I really do hope so, just for his sake, that, I hope he can get back to his business. And I hope he proves a lot of, Spurs supporters wrong when he comes back and he does score the goals again and he turns back into the Dele Alli that we know. And then you'll get these people that go, oh, I love him. And then you were saying a couple of months ago that you should sell him. I think there's a player in there. And I think under Nuno tends to do quite well with his midfielders. You look what he's done with, the likes of Ruben Neves and Moutinho. He turned them into two very good midfielders, but overall their whole game, not just, when Moutinho came, he was an attacking midfielder, and then he turned into more of a, I suppose more of just a box-to-box type thing. And I think with Ali, with his he looks physically stronger this season and fitter. He could be more of a box-to-box and help out the likes of an Ndombele or Lo Celso or what. Just gives us another option. So I think he's going to have a good season, mate, and I think he's going to make people eat their words.
I just think there's a couple of things on this, Matt. He's either gone out there, worked his socks off to try and get a move. You know what I mean? Try and get his face in the window. Or as you said, work his socks off, try and get back into this team.
I think he wants back in that first team. I think he loves Tottenham. With his interview, I can't remember who it was with, but he literally said, the guy asked him, do you blame Mourinho for what you did? He was like, no. He was like, it was nothing to do with Mourinho. It was down to me and my work ethic. And he said, I'm going to be improving that, and he's going to be firing next season. He said so. He's got a target already in his mind what he wants as well. So
and people, what makes me laugh about people, mate? Certain people, absolutely get on his back already. Oh, you're shit against Lake. Oh, you're shit against.
It's pre-season, and he's playing with the kids.
They are absolutely nothing. Absolutely count for nothing. I don't care what anyone says. They count for absolutely. They're dead games. Absolute dead games. These friendlies. So mark him on when the season starts and when the season finishes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And maybe give him one more shot under Nuno, and maybe then you probably have to say if it doesn't work out, it'll never work out.
Yeah. I think I'd give him until, like, if I'm Nuno, I'd probably go, let's see what he can do for the half the season and see what he's like in January. If he's still not pulling up trees, and maybe you look at shipping him out in the January transfer window and bring someone else in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So to me on Dele Alli, we definitely need to keep him. We need to get involved. But what Dele needs to do, he needs to want it for himself, Matt.
Yeah.
He needs to work for himself. He needs to work harder. You know what I mean? He needs to show. He needs to prove to himself that he is the player and what he was. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You don't come
he's
and play
still in there.
over.
Yeah, you're not bad
Yeah.
overnight, are you? You don't.
Yeah.
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 But
So
yeah, it'll be interesting to see, and he's going to be a big player at the start of our season because he's going to be one of these few players that hasn't gone to the Euros and has had a full rest and really get ready for the new season. So we're going to be relying on players like him. So let's just get behind him and see what he can do. Not give him stick and to say you're real rubbish and you're finished, or get out of my club,
Yeah.
It's not going to help him at all.
Absolutely. Because we know, Matt, he's had a point, and he knows himself. He's had a
Oh, you
poor
don't need to tell him. He knows he was rubbish.
So with Dele Alli, I do believe that given a real good running team, he needs a running team. Can't have one game here, then out for 10 games, say, and gives a sub here and there.
Yeah,
that's not going to do. No, it's going to be. He needs a good running team. But where did he play that team?
I remember when Jose came. He was turning into the Dele Alli that we knew. He was on 8. He scored 8 goals, I think it was. He was on fire.
This up, Matt, I keep bringing this up, mate. And
so
something's not.
He needs his arm around the shoulder. He needs another Poch type manager, which is what I think Nuno could be.
And people do go on and say professional football should have an arm around the shoulder, get paid too much money. But certain players do. They've had a rough upbringing, they've had a rough life and things like that. And it can affect them. You know what I mean? And some players do need that arm around the shoulder. You know what I mean? I think Dele's one of them.
Yeah, definitely.
And if there was a manager, Harry Redknapp, if you want someone to get the best out of Dele, it'll be definitely Harry Redknapp. He'll put the arm around the shoulder. Even Harry Redknapp said it, innit? All we need to do with Dele Alli, put an arm around that shoulder. Put an arm around that shoulder and tell him, kid, you're an absolute baller. You're an absolute superstar. You know what I mean? Get yourself going again. You know what I mean? Wake up. You know what I mean? And I think Nuno will do it to an extent. I think he'll try and do it, but
I think he's got a smile on his face again. You can sort of see it with the training videos, and he's got quite a good relationship with Sonny. Actually, I think Dele Alli, from what I can see in the videos, so I think he's quite an integral part of the squad. Actually,
he's definitely got a smile back on his face, and got the goal at the weekend. Okay, it wasn't a scrappy goal, but goal.
I'm so glad he got the goal though. He was in the box. That's the main thing, You got to be in there to score.
Exactly. So Derek says, great show, guys. Thank you very much, Derek. Thomas saying, Penny has dropped for Ali, so he knows now that it's all up to himself now. I reckon he'll be back to his very best. Derek says, get Chiesa. Yeah, that'd be a great signing. Silver Star says, I hope we can sell Winks, Dyer, Hart, Sissoko, Carter, because Sanchez and Dele. I won't sell Dele, but the rest of them I totally agree. And we've got Napan. Yes, Napan, the Chelsea fan. Hi, how's it going, pal? So, guys, I said me and Matt's been ruffling now for 2 hours, coming up 2 hours. Still 34 people still in the chat, guys. So, considering we've only just our second show back for over a fair few months, Matt. It's brilliant. People still still show us the love. Everyone show us the support still. So, guys, if you are in the chat, you ain't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel, guys. Smash the like and get the channel out there, guys. Tell your mates about it, guys. Get them to and Nepal says, nice to see you guys back again. Thank you very much. Are you coming to the match at the bridge? I don't know. I live in Fleetwood, so it's a bit far. It's a bit far from the bridge. Silver Star says, good chat. Thank you very much, pal. So yes, Matt. Nice one for coming in, mate. Absolutely fantastic. We've had a good catch up.
Yes.
Good catch up on all the good players that potentially we are getting through the door.
Could be exciting times ahead, definitely.
Romero, it looks like that's close. Apparently, that could be later tonight, maybe tomorrow, early in next week. We'll probably hear something more. Brian Hill, sorry, that could be another one. He's at the Olympics at the minute, so I wouldn't worry about that too much, guys. Tom, is it Tomorisu? What his name is?
Tomiyasu, yeah.
Tomiyasu, that's his name, was it? We don't know where we're at this one, guys. He's picked up a knock apparently, and we still ain't agreed. If that's sale, let's sell. Let's go on. Let's move on. I mean, and get someone like Tarek Lamptey. That's what me and Matt's been talking about.
Yeah, will be really good.
And Kevin Smith stays. What about Brian Hill? Yeah, if you go back after we upload this video, Kevin, we've talked about Brian Hill, and yeah, he seems a fantastic talent. Fantastic talent. Bit too early yet to hype it up. We need to see in the Premier League. You know what I mean, but it seems like a real good deal. All parties. And Jeffrey Miller says, just watch Hill, the kids class. Here we go. I mean, so it could be a good deal for us, all parties. I mean, so Matt, thanks for coming in, pal.
No problem, mate.
You have a great day, a great meal, and yeah, we'll sort out another one.
We will.
I said,
we'll
guys,
see you guys soon.
Yeah, I said, guys, we're just gonna do one a week. Because that's all you have to do, guys. I mean, personally, to us, it's not really much to talk about, is there? Really, what is there to talk about? We're talking about the same stuff every day. So
Yeah, exactly.
once a day, once a week, then you've got more to talk about. So, guys, thank you very much, guys. So, as I said, if you're new to the channel, guys, subscribe to the channel, smash the like, guys. Finley, what's your opinion on goalie? Yeah, do you know what? I'm sorry, I didn't bring the goalie up. Yes, he looks an exciting prospect. I do think that he's coming as number one. I do believe Hugo could be a surprise yet. Hugo could be going. I mean, so watch his space. I mean, Matt, quickly, your opinion before we go on.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think he's a smart signing, sensible, not spending too much money on the goalkeeper. He's pretty tall. He's much better at distribution than Lloris is. He's actually known for it. I think he's a bit of a sweeper keeper as well. I like his attitude. I like his winning mentality. He's got Champions League experience. I think there's a lot worse we could have gone for. When you're looking at the goalie we've just signed and the one potentially that Arsenal are going to sign, a relegated Ramsdale from Sheffield United, and he's going to be in it almost about 30 million. I think we would have got a good deal if we're looking at someone like Ramsdale. So yeah, I think good signing. Yeah,
absolutely. So yeah, so that's it, guys. So that's the transfer roundup from the Cy and Matt show. It's been great, guys. As I said, been touching nearly 40 people in the chat, which is good for our second show back. It's really good. It's good to have people supporting the channel, supporting us. There's some new faces in there. If you haven't already sub to the channel, guys, go over to the sub channel, get your families and all that sub into the channel as well, guys. Smash the like, guys. So I expect over 40 likes, guys. So for me and Matt from Premier Hotspur TV, guys, I've been Simon, guys. This has been Matt. And let's hope we do get some of these deals over the line. I mean, because I can see where some comments are coming on. We're fed up with the talking, no, nothing getting done. But at least we're showing a bit progress under Power Teacher. It seems more going on than was under Hitchens. So yeah, seems like we're moving forward, guys. But let's see how it goes, guys. Let's see. So till next time, guys. It'll be next week, guys. Have a good rest of the day, guys, and we'll leave you with this, guys. So, right, guys, as I said, have a cracking rest of the afternoon, guys, and we'll see you again very soon.